Hi there! Nowadays we are so much used to our devices that we don't even think about how it works. It works and it's great. If you click on this video, it means that you would like to know something about your devices. In this channel we will talk about it a lot. In order to deep dive into this magic world of electronics, I suggest to start with some basic things. Today I would like to talk about networking. To understand properly our devices, it would be very nice to know how do they communicate. Honestly, because it's also easiest for me for the first video, but anyway. So, do not hesitate to use time codes, make sure you're subscribed, small disclaimer on the screen, let's get started. So, today, even the smallest piece of metal can communicate with the entire world. And good news for us, all of the devices communicate with a similar principle. In a high level, of course. In a low level, there is some difference. Let's cut the corner and do not bother our brains with some physics stuff. We don't need it at the moment. Press like button if you also don't like to bother your brains. Okay, jokes aside, we are serious right now. All of you are already an expert in some other areas. And you know that we cannot start learning new topics without defining some basic terms. Of course, you may not get it right away, all of the terms may be super new for you, but it's okay. Later you will combine all of the pieces into a single big puzzle. Okay, I suggest to start with a big picture view. Without big picture view, your brain will reject everything that I will explain further. So, yeah. For the big picture, our first term, network. What the heck is a network? Network is a combination of all devices that are already connected directly one to each other. Basically, yes, network is a connection of multiple devices. You can connect devices directly. In our modern world, we do not often connect devices directly one to each other, but rather we use some specific device which is responsible for managing our network called router. Yeah, you are correct. You guessed it right. But practically, you can get rid of your Wi-Fi router, you can put any laptop you have, connect multiple devices to it, and make your laptop a router. But without Wi-Fi or with Wi-Fi if you really need it. Okay, network is a combination of all our devices. For big picture, we already have all our devices connected into network. Each device is connected with a link to the router, and router connected to all devices. We have some known as a star topology. But how do actually devices communicate? And our second term is coming into the scene. Packet. What is a packet? Packet you can imagine as a simple or even electronic mail, email, yes? So what does email contain? Email contain receiver, sender, title, or
one eternity later.
What does electronic email has? Sender, receiver, title, body, all of these contain a letter, an email. A letter also has address of the transmitter, address of the sender, address of the receiver, packaging, and the actually written and the actual letter written by hand. So packet is quite similar thing. Packet is a data encapsulated, let's say, if you know such word. If you don't know, I don't know about you. You can Google it, of course. So, data encapsulated into some metadata, let's say. Metadata is a management data which explains who sends some data and to whom. I don't know. I'm not English expert. So yeah, forget. So please do not write any stupid comments. YouTuber is stupid, hahaha. It's your responsibility for what you're watching, so yeah. So let's combine our two terms together. Okay, let it be. So, if device would like to communicate with other device, it should create a package. Yeah, device creates the package itself. Send it to router, then router accepts the packet. It does actually some magic, not magic, but it does some checking of the packet, who is sending to who I should address this packet next, and so on and so on. It receives the packet and send to the destination device. And destination device gets this packet, it unboxes it, it reads, what would you like to talk about me? Okay, I should create a new package. So I put this data, packaging it, and send back to router. So in the big picture, it looks like this. And further, our networking is breaking into smallest pieces. We already started talking about letters, sending emails. We are not interested in emails no more, but for simple letters, we of course can continue our analogy. So, what is needed to send a simple letter to your lover? 3 things you should know, right? Your address of the lover, and address, let's say, of the post department physical building where you come, where you tell, hey guys, please send this mail to my lover, here's their address. Yes, so you act like a end devices, let's say. Okay, here I need to highlight third term. I understand that 3 terms is too much, but okay, let it be. Host. So end device is a host. It's a dedicated receiver or transmitter of the packet. So it's end of the road. It's end of the road. Yes, road ends in this device. What I'm recording in this device, in any of the small devices. So sending a letter, you act like a host, and your post department local is act like a router. You don't know about how does your router transfer your packets to the global network. Here is fourth term, number 4. Global network, we will talk about a few minutes later, global and local network. But for now let's skip this part. Let's wait a few seconds for this. So you get a letter, you come to the post building, told guys to send a letter to your lover. Later you don't nothing about it. Let's imagine, I understand that now you have a iOS app, iOS application where you see where is your packet and so on and so on. It is not the case in the real world, talking about devices network. So, what is going on? You sent a letter, your lover received the letter. Your lover unpacks your letter, writes you an answer, packs the answer, and sends you back. How does your lover answer you? Your lover takes your letter, see your address, and it already available to send you some data. It's similar how do our devices communicate between each other. So we touch such a thing called local network and global network. To understand what is difference between local network and global network, there is a simple rule that you can apply for now. Just simple rule. Some experts may not agree with me, but I don't care. So simple rule. Local network, if you can access any other device in this network. If you do not have a direct access to other device, it's called a global network. For example, if you open a browser and start Googling, Google is not located in your local network. So your router is responsible for transferring your data to the Google somehow. We will talk about it how, but for now we don't know. It's a black box for us. Our device sends some data to router, and tells router, hey router, I know the address of Google. Please send some data to this address. And if you will get any response from Google, please send me back. Yes. And that's it. Your router sends some data to Google, Google sends the answer to the router, and router sends the answer to you. Just simple as that. Did I explain something new for you? I don't think so. You already know it. I do not want to make video super long, but let's be honest, I didn't provide you any new info. You already knew about it quite well, right? So let's focus on pretty useful things. Term number 5, MAC address. What does MAC mean? MAC, if you try to spell it. What does it mean? Media Access Control. Media is our physics, our source of transferring. For example, if you listen to radio, our media is not the air, but magneto-electronic wave. Magneto-electronic wave is our media. If I am wrong, I don't care. I'm just explaining how it's simple to you to understand. Media access control. So, what does it mean? As we already talked about, there is only direct connection between hosts. What is the host? Host is the end device which receives the packet. For example, why do we need this info? Because you already might know, or you don't know, I will tell you, we have some specific devices called switches. What is a switch? Switch is a device inside local network or in the edge between local and global network, so on and so on. But for now, let's consider that switch is located in local network. Switch is like a socket. Physical socket. Switch is just a helper to connect our hosts. Yes, so switch is not the host. Switch doesn't receive any packets. Switch helps us to connect multiple devices into local network. If you will take a look at your laptop, then most probably you will find out that you have MacBook, and MacBook doesn't have Ethernet devices, Ethernet adapters. I don't know, maybe some of them has, but I don't care. I don't use MacBooks. Switches are specific devices which helps us to connect multiple devices into our local network. So that's it. It's not the host. Host is our end device, our useful, some smartphone, laptop, and so on and so on. Your smartwatches. I don't use smartwatches. I hate smartwatches. What are our media access control? In a simple mail, you only enters two addresses. Your address of the receiver, your address of the sender. In a regular mail, you paste only two addresses, your address and address of your lover. But in communication between devices, we actually have four addresses. Two addresses for media access control and two addresses for routing. Yeah, so term number 6, routing. We will talk about it later. Just know that we already have 6 terms, and the 6th term is routing. We will talk about it probably in future videos. Even if your device is directly connected to your router should know your MAC address. Why it should know your MAC address? Because if other device would like to send you some data, it should, yes, you're correct, it should put your MAC address into the packet. And so much questions for now. How do we know? How do our devices know each other MAC address? How is it possible? Unfortunately, there is no magic in this area, or fortunately, I don't know. Each device has its unique MAC address for media access control. Every device, even if your laptop has Ethernet adapter and Wi-Fi adapter, it will be two separate devices with two separate MAC addresses. Each device connected to the router to some specific port. You can see the picture on the screen, so each router has sort of ports. When you plug the cable into some specific port, your router should know on which port which device is operating. For example, if from my laptop or from this video recorder I would like to transmit video data into my laptop, I need to know MAC address of my laptop, MAC address of my video recorder. Also, I need to know IP addresses, but for IP addresses we will talk about in future video. If some packets is coming from this device to this device, we have MAC address of transmitter, MAC address of sender, MAC address of destination host. When one device is sending data to another device, router checks, okay, from this port I received the packets with source address of this one. Okay, so I will remember for me that on this specific port I have the device with such MAC address. Just a remark, if you connect any device via Wi-Fi, your router creates virtual ports. Yes, so each device is marked by any number, and number is a virtual port, and so on and so on. So yeah, it's quite not a tricky, but yeah, for you it might be confusing, but yes. So if I send from this device to this device, my router remembers that okay, on this port I have a device with source MAC address of this one. So if next time somebody will try to send packet to this device, I will know in which port I should transmit the data. It is how our switches work, and our router behaves like a switch in these terms, because MAC addresses is a layer 2 of our networking stack. Network stack layer 2, oh my god, how much terms for today, I don't know. Just chill, do not take it close to your heart. Just 6 terms as we already discussed. Okay, anything else will be discussed later. Another question: what if we have a device which has been connected but never sends any data? How does the router know its address? It's quite simple. We will talk about some specific protocol, how does the device connected to the router, but just know at the moment, anytime when any device connects to the router is can already know its MAC address. So, combining pieces into a single puzzle, devices communicate between each other using packets. Devices communicate between each other via some global router which transfers data between hosts, and in order to communicate, hosts should know each other's MAC addresses. Basically, that's it. That is enough info for communication in local network. So, it still doesn't answer a lot of questions. How does actually our applications communicate between each other? But it is already some info. If you need more, wait for new videos. That's it for now. Thanks for watching me. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you press the like button. See you in the next video. Bye bye.